I wasn't saying in that way. Whoa. Oh, aloha. We're recording. Aloha. Thank you for joining Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian beaches on the beautiful big island of Hawaii. Hooray. I love you. Thank you. Ah.
Uh, so there it I can actually visualize myself talking about this. It seems like the more people that are reaching out to me, the more it flows. I'm seeing that the flow is what I am. It's in the quiet spaces when the thoughts are there. That's what I used to be identified with was those thoughts. And now
Mhm.
it is clearly seen that that is not the case. And I there's it's just beautiful. That's that's all. And there's a loving talking about this. There's a passion that comes out when I'm talking
Yeah,
about
you feel it. Exactly. And that's.
it. And the words are just so spot on. So I'm looking as they're coming out, and sometimes it's like, "Whoa, I actually say that to the person. I've never said that before until just now. I mean, I see clearly that I'm not saying it. It's coming through.
Yes.
There's no claim in it at all.
Yes.
Ah,
The space open for it to come through.
and I'm thinking that the space is happening because I started meditating, right? Which I
Mhm.
never did before. And when I breathe in, I think I talked to you about this last week. It's when I breathe in, it's not that deep, but when I breathe out, it goes so deep. It's almost like there's no bottom. And I can feel my heartbeat or the heartbeat in my belly, in my esophagus, in my throat, and there's no thoughts. It
Yes.
seems like there's no bottom. It's kind of scary.
Oh, hooray.
And when the in breath happens after that, that that's involuntary and it's not a gasp. It's not a,
Hmm.
like you would think that running out of breath would be. It's a
But
gentle, easeful breathing back in. And I don't
beautiful.
wait, but I don't. What is that? I mean, of course, the mind's trying to make it mean something, but it
Yeah,
seems like that's what's creating the space for understanding what I am, but disidentifying with the thoughts.
definitely. Because identifying with the thoughts takes a certain focus of your attention. It's like, that's why I refer to it as pursuing, because it takes you focusing on it. So when that attention is removed from that outer source that you projected outward, that doesn't
Right.
even mean anything, and it's redirected. It's kind of like your consciousness is looking backwards. Like the consciousness is looking backwards at itself, and like where's this coming from? And it changes everything. It opens up the doorway to wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom that's not from this person. That's for sure.
Right.
It is shocking some of the things that come out, and I'm actually seeing the connectedness
Mm-hmm.
from way back. Way you can't know where this even started.
Sure.
I mean, the intertwining of the significance I never gave to anything, and now it's like, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
It's
And that opening is it definitely accompanied with beautiful spiritual experiences in a lot of different ways. And a
Well,
lot.
lots of connection with
Mm.
people.
Hmm.
Deep, deep connecting with people.
Yes, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Very. I had I don't know. I mean, I've told you about Zachary for a long time. This kid, my friend that I walk with, and he's gone to jail and all this. Well, he's completely turned his life around, and I am close to him now. And he just got a girlfriend who is very, very depressed. I
Okay.
mean, and I so it just so happened that last Friday, effortlessly, I ended up on a walk out in the woods with her and Nicole, and it the unfolding, my God, hope when we went into the woods, I could feel the heaviness in this poor thing. I know she's not a victim, but when she started opening up about her life and what she's lived to age 20, she said, first of all, her father, when her parents got divorced, her father used to tie her up to chairs and
Hmm.
hit her when she was young.
Okay.
Then, when she was at her mother's house, when she was a young teenager, she uh, two guys broke into the house while she was home and robbed it. They tied her to a chair and beat her. She
Okay.
then,
Just hold on just one second just to interject right there. So when we hear when we hear pictures like that, this is for everyone. When we hear pictures like that, you hear it and then it's interpreted and there's a picture.
and
There's a feeling reaction in the body to that. There's a feeling reaction in the body to that. There's a sensitivity to that. That right there is the gift in hearing that feeling sensation, to allow that feeling sensation to be embraced in your body right now, as that as you have that perception, hearing those of things that are being done to a person that sound terrible,
yes,
you
right.
want to have done to you, let's say.
Exactly, right. Exactly.
you know and the opportunity, it's such an opportunity, because you didn't see that coming. You came to wisdom dialogues, and then all of a sudden there's a oh, that okay. So then there's a feeling sensation, and that is for you. That's a huge opportunity right
Mm,
there. And that's how it is all throughout the day. Whatever you hear, you projected it for your own experience. Like you could say, we're all hallucinating that. Lori just said that, and we're all having biological responses to it.
mhm,
Because they're projected from us. Basically, we have biological responses to everything. And
mhm.
I say biological, not like biology is real, but that's a symbolism of it. The body sense, the body sense. See? And
Mm.
so there's one such just kind of opportunity to take a look at whenever you hear of something that sounds terrible happening to another person. You don't have to try to talk yourself around it or anything. Just simply feel what you feel, what comes up. You might feel something in your heart, you might feel something in your throat. Just feel what you feel, whatever it comes up, because that's the reason you projected it. So thank you. All right, Lori, please proceed.
Continue. Okay. So, the third one happened
Mhm.
when she was 17, and
Uh,
her boyfriend was with four of the guys. So those five guys ran her off the road while she was driving,
okay,
and
okay,
they proceeded to rape her.
okay.
So I looked at her and I said, "Do you see a pattern here?"
Uh-huh.
And she just looked at me, and Nicole was like, "Lori, what are you?" She was, she was like, "Where's your compassion?" Well, I said, "Nicole, I am not going to coddle her. and act like she's a victim here. I said, this is a pattern. If she wants to stop it, she needs to see it. This is a dream. And it's going to continue to go that way if she believes that this is what, that she's not worthy of her own love, the what she is. And we were out there for 2 hours. The the stuff I said, she says she talks to, oh, she didn't tell me this. Eventually, after like 3/4 of the way through, she says, she starts running ahead of me and she goes and picks up this twig that looks like a cross. She found it in the snow. And I went, she goes, oh, look at this. And I said, yeah. She says, it's the cross. She goes, I just, and she took out her necklace. She has the cross on her neck. And she says, I talked to God. She goes, I just asked God to tell me if this is for real. Give me a sign. And she saw that. But before that, when she picked it up, I showed her about the cross, the short one that's horizontal being the dream, the idea of this dream and the timeline that's not real, and the vertical line of the depth of you, what the now, that's what's real. And that's when she told me about the God thing, how she holds her necklace and talks to him. And
Oh,
it
how fabulous.
it came it she so I it came to her, it came to me last night that she's just talking to herself.
Of course.
And so we're going to be walking again on Sunday,
One,
apparently with two other young kids, which I hope, talking to her
uh-huh.
was like the most beautiful. She was wide open. It was so beautiful. It flowed through me like water.
Well, that's how it
Ah,
is. That's how it is. And the ones who are receptive, they just come around you. It's just how it is. You know, it's
ah,
like it's like your energy, your body's energy field, what's emanating from your body's energy field is almost like calling to them who are seeking that. You see what I mean?
yes, I
So they get
do.
drawn to you in whatever way, whatever kind of story brings them about or whatever, they get drawn to you because of that, because the energies resonate.
Yes. It's so beautiful.
That's and also, do you notice that the more you share, the more you receive?
Yes. I
Yeah.
really felt so energized, so present,
Uh-huh.
so present. And I don't know. It literally feels like a dream. It really
It's
does.
good when it feels like what it is.
Exactly. A
Because it really is,
beautiful,
it
beautiful.
really is like a dream. It really is.
It is.
And it's something, it's something that I heard last week. I was watching this TED talk, and it was something my friend sent to me. It was about how the world is a hallucination. It's a hallucination made in the brain.
That's it.
Yeah,
Imagination. That's all
yeah.
it is.
And he also said something about it being biological, and the brain, of course, the brain and the biology are in the mind. So
Exactly. That's all.
it's all a projection of the mind.
Right.
And
There's,
in the dream, it's a hallucination of the brain.
that's
And
it.
the brain is making predictions based on biology, as in what sense, through the body sense.
Right. Right. And I noticed also what I can do because I just got off another call with a friend that just reached out to me on Facebook. And you can see basically what everybody's living is what they're saying.
Uh-huh.
What they're saying. She says, it's all on my shoulders. I said, is that true? So I did a little bit of Byron Katie's work with her and completely turned it around, which I saw her mind open just a crack enough to say, when the turnarounds came, enough to say for three things to come through, which she did not entertain when that belief was solidly held in her head or in her imagination.
Hmm.
She was able to crack it open, and she's like, "Oh, she's so grateful. I feel like I'm you because my gratitude for you is now I'm getting the gratitude."
Yeah, well, and it's like a lot of gratitude comes from that kind of sharing. It does. A lot of
Yeah.
gratitude does come, and it's interesting that you're bringing that up because I was noticing that a lot too this week, and especially yesterday. I was like, wow, I just like kind of feel like almost overwhelmed with gratitude, like
Mhm.
just and it's like the more you give, like for every feeling there's there can be an expression of gratitude just for every feeling, and in expressing gratitude with every feeling, you become that expression of gratitude, and as that's becomes your expression, of course that's what's coming back to you. I mean, that's like basic law of attraction stuff.
Right, really. But and
But it's like, but that's really how it works. It's like, are you giving gratitude for your experience? Are you giving gratitude for your perception? Like whatever it is that happens to be arising in your perception, are you giving gratitude for that? And if you just ask that simple question, you'll be like, wow, I've I no, I'm not grateful right now. And once you realize that, you can just be with that feeling, because it's like when when we don't notice that we're not grateful in that comment, whatever, just looking back at what's going on in the body's energy field and letting that be the the passing sensation, so to speak.
hmm.
And
Well,
then you return to gratitude fast. Huh.
easily, effortlessly. Um, Also, it seemed, I mean, gratitude to me, gratitude and real love is the same vibration. It's the same. It
Yes.
just feels the same.
Well, it's coming from the same source. Let's say it like this. It's a it's an illusion. Gratitude is an illusion. It's an illusion that is, you could say, it's an expression of love.
Right.
And
Expression.
there's a lot of them. There's a lot of illusions that are an expressions of expression of love. Forgiveness is one.
Oh, right. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like love is too big for the dream to like be defined in the dream. Like
Yeah.
basically love is what you are, and it's let in through your willingness to recognize it, your willingness to have it revealed, your willingness to see what you're holding against it to prevent it from being revealed.
Mm,
Kind of
right.
like holding
Present.
up veils.
Mm.
Thank you, Yulia. Yulia said, she said, "Oh, Hope and Lori, I'm feeling that gratitude vibe and it's sweet." Oh, thank you, Yulia. I love you. We feel
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Goes right back to her. I had gratitude for a friend of mine that I met in Spain at the last retreat I went to. Um, I have been waking up with realizations at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I can't. It is a strong urge just to type it out on Facebook. And of course, there's some certain people feedback, negative feedback. Oh,
Yay.
exactly.
I know that one.
Yes, you do. I thought of you immediately.
Yep. Yay.
And I started with I told him exactly how I see it. And he says, well, I can't be, anyway, and I just didn't answer him.
Uh-huh.
I can't be sure this is all imagination. I can't be sure this is a dream. That's imagination too, and whatever, and I just let it go.
Yeah.
Because I
It's like, yeah, yep, you're right. That is imagination. It's like
can't.
you're using imagination to point to reality. It's pretty funny.
Yep. I just, I just could not entertain the.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just
it's the vibration. It's the vibration. You know, like we feel each other. You can say
definitely.
we don't have an effect on one another though. We
No.
feel each other, but we don't have an effect on one another because, you know, when you have the perception of a person, you are making that thing up and you're making the feeling up and everything.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we don't have an effect on one another, but you can sense the vibe. You can sense what they're after. See,
Yeah.
some people, and you know, everyone at certain times are looking for conflict, and you can
Definitely.
sense it. You can sense it. You know what that is, and you're just kind of like, no, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't playing into it. It was beautiful. But there was a gratitude for him, for the gift he was bringing that wasn't
Exactly.
accepted. Yeah.
That wasn't accepted. Exactly. But see, you're accepting a deeper gift. You're accepting a deeper gift. You're not accepting that gift of conflict that's being offered up, but you're accepting the deeper gift, the gift that he really has for you. And
Is
that's the gift of
through.
knowing who you are.
Exactly. Seeing through the dream.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
That's what it's
exactly the way.
for. That's what it's all for.
Yes. That's
It's,
exactly how I took it.
yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Very nice. It's
Mm.
fun, huh?
Very fun. No, it's really like a dream. It's really feels like I don't even know.
Well, the more you're willing to see it as a dream,
Oh, for sure.
it'll be revealed.
Hmm.
You know, so it takes, you know, like for me, I've had a lot of motivating, you could say activating energy toward it, activating energy. I don't force myself to do it at all. There's a motivating energy or an activating energy that motivates me to move it toward a certain direction. And for me, the focus of my attention, the most important thing is that the focus of my attention is on my being and not on the ideas and things that are crossing my mind. You know, that those things, they may be, certain things may be pursued for utility purposes, you know, utilitarian type thoughts like where we're going to um, launch our next product or whatever, something like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
What's going to go in our essential oil blend? Um, but just these thoughts that are repetitive that talk about you know, talk to you about how you're going to get things and what you're going to do and over again, and what people think of you and how that thing went and whether they should do it like that, all of those, they end up not being important. They not end up not being of such importance once you perceive the power of love
All right.
in the
Well,
present.
but they don't even seem to be an issue anymore.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
even a thing.
Yeah,
Hmm. I didn't even
exactly.
think about that.
Well, keep watching, keep
Yeah.
watching, because, you know, as the saying goes, this too shall pass.
Yes.
In the dream, look at, here's how it is. In the dream, as long as you're perceiving a dream, you know, you're perceiving a dream, you're not perceiving heaven, basically, like as in everything you see still looks separate, right? And
Right.
things like that.
Yep.
But things hurt, you know, you have to go poo. That's a funny one to me. As long as long as you're perceiving things in separation, there's something that needs to be healed and will be coming up to be healed.
Hmm. Yep.
So don't fall for that trap, because that's where the ego will come in and say, okay, now you've reached this certain point
Mhm.
where it's all going to be meaningless to you. Look, as long as there's darkness in the mind, and you know there is because it's casting shadows, that's what this world is.
Mm.
you know, it's you don't have to think of yourself as advanced anyway as far as having things come up that might feel like they blindside you or whatever. That's all what it's for, though. Always coming back. It's always the coming back, because it's always the believing in the delusion temporarily and then coming back. And you know you've believed in it temporarily if you have any kind of uneasy feeling at all.
Right.
And that includes the feeling of, oh, I'm fine.
Mm.
It includes that one.
That one. Mm. That's not believed. That's just a glossing over or not looking at what's actually there.
Yes, it just keeps on. The ego is for just keeping on as if you're a separate individual,
Mm.
as if you have to make yourself, you have to make your life, and it's like love is the most powerful force in the universe, the most powerful. It it's guiding everything. It's guiding all of our interactions. And so
And it does
if you give it up to love, everything just falls into place. It
right.
falls in exactly as it needs.
Exactly. And it doesn't make a mistake, even if the mind says it's wrong. It shouldn't be this way. It's
Yes,
not ever a mistake.
it's never a mistake. Exactly.
So, do you what do you think about goals?
How so? What kind of context are you giving me?
Okay, so I was listening to this woman, Nazra. I've gotten to know her pretty good. She helped me with the meditation thing that
Hmm.
seems to have opened up a whole new. And she had a whole webinar today about what is stopping you from reaching for their dreams. What is it? There's a thought that's keeping you back from helping the world and getting out there and doing what you were born to do, and it just seemed so forced. Where to me, it is what's happening. Everything is opening up, and I'm just basically watching it happen. I have a vision of me doing something, talking about. It's actually on a talking to people, but I'm on a stage,
Beautiful.
not a big stage, just a small. I don't know where it is. I don't. It's just a. I don't know what the hell. It's just an image of me standing and the words just coming in, but I don't know where, what, when, what. And she seems to think that I need to know. And if I pay her $500, I can get into this other meditation thing that's gonna get me to know.
How fun.
It just doesn't seem this. It's just not something that. So I was wrestling with that today. Should I
Okay.
be? Go ahead. Go ahead. Did you need to talk to?
He just wants to be there. He'll just say something if he wants to.
Okay. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have to know. That's another thing I've realized that I don't. I'm either going to be moved to do something or not. I'm not in decision of it.
It doesn't matter if you do the course or anything like that or not. It's just that's just a play that's occurring on the surface. So it'll be just be interesting to see whether you do the course or not. That's all. It
Mm,
doesn't matter. It's just like part of the play, you know.
mm.
But you're gonna get whatever you need
No matter what.
every time, no matter what.
Hmm. Hmm.
No matter what. And you may get something out of the course that wasn't even intended for you to get out of the course.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just get something completely different, but whatever it is, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's a deep. It's like meditation almost all day.
Okay.
That do you meditate?
All the time.
Oh, right. Yeah, your life is a meditation.
Do I sit still and be quiet and stuff like that? Yes.
You do.
Yes, definitely.
You gotta copy.
That's one of my favorite things.
It's becoming mine too.
Yes.
I never, I never would have thought.
Yeah, but it becomes more like a constant going back to that, going back to then, like life is meditation too.
Right.
You know.
I see
So
that.
the sitting and the practicing, it helps to see that, and then once you see that, it's not like you need to be in this mode of forcing yourself to meditate.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't feel like any of this was forced
Yeah.
at all. At
So
all.
that's how you'll know if you're going to that course or not, because you'll feel called to
Right. That's
not to
right.
try to get anything, not to try to be better. See, that's the thing. It was like
Right.
it's not like that.
Mm.
That's meditation with the ego as a guide.
Right. 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 Right.
See, and people and people want to have that kind of thing where they do it like that, where that's cool. That's one way of that's one way of expressing in the dream.
Right.
It's one way of expressing in the dream where it's like okay, everything I do for getting something for me. It's
Mm.
whatever I want, even if it's helping other people. That's for me. Like,
Yeah.
everything I do.
Well, the other people are you.
Yes, exactly. Well, not only that, but I'm projecting the need. The
Right.
first,
Right. 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 Right.
so I'm always doing that, I'm doing everything for me, or living as everything can be done through me through love.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's just a different way of relating as far as, what am I? What power do I have? Am I a body that needs to go after these goals in the world?
Mm.
Um, you know, and you could have goals. There's no problem with that. I mean, that's natural. You have goals,
Well,
but
I've had a
recognizing that
goal.
those are not yours.
Right. I've never had a goal my whole life. I see how it's just unfolded.
Uh-huh. So it's not going to be a meaningful thing. The goal is not meaningful. The goal that you perceive is not meaningful. There's only one goal that's meaningful. So it comes back to, what is it for? What is it for in this moment? What is it for? Is it for getting goals in the world? Hardly. The world isn't real.
Right. No. Mm.
Is it for reaching a bunch of people? No.
Mm-mm.
It's not for that. You
Mm.
might dream that up.
Right.
Like here on Wisdom Dialogues, I'm dreaming that 10 people are joining me live. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Uh, but it's not as if this is something that I need to do.
Right. Right.
I find myself in a situation like this. I find myself in a situation like this. It's magic.
I feel it. I
Magic.
totally agree.
But it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me if the spirit is moved in another direction, or the dream. Let's say it like this: the dream figures change, things go in another direction, and that's a particular form, particular bodies, lovely bodies, but particular as if particular bodies need to be around me, with me. It's like it puts a pressure on it puts a pressure on, as if this illusion is real and you have to be attached to parts of it. It's just playing. Everything that's coming is just being projected, like hallucinated, as if it's out there, as if it's happening to you.
Mhm.
But nothing's happening. It's just an
Nothing's
occurrence.
happening. It's
It's just
only
an, yeah, it's like a current of information. It's a current of information. So in this, it's not getting attached to any form, and in not being attached to any form, there's an immense gratitude.
Mm.
See, people, things, um, you know, different situations can just come and go. They can just come and go.
Which is what they're doing.
Yes, which is what they're doing anyways, but there tends to be this mind energy that goes after,
It attaches to it. Yeah. Tries to, yeah.
attaches, you know, what's the other one? Rejects, resists.
Resists.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know, either attaches or resists instead of like allowing the things to flow. And
Right.
the only reason that the things aren't allowed to flow, the things that are arising in the perception aren't allowed to flow, is resistance or attachment.
Right.
It's really the same thing. It's just taking another form. In A Course in Miracles, they call that special love.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the same thing, resistance or attachment. So that is what makes it as if we need these particular things, particular bodies, particular situations, particular things to go down, as in reaching a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that's unfolding for you naturally, and you can bet if you had a vision of it and it felt good, then
Mm.
it is already unfolding. It's
Yeah.
already unfolding. So it's not as if you have to do anything in particular, but feel yourself there, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Right. I get
Like,
that. I
yeah,
completely get that. Because
yeah,
the more it's felt, the more it's drawing to you. Because, I mean, when I woke up with that image,
yeah,
my heart was pounding with excitement. I could not, I almost couldn't contain the excitement
yeah,
that was built up inside. I woke up that way.
yeah.
What the
And
heck?
you'll just be motivated. If you find yourself forcing yourself in any kind of forcing energy,
Yeah.
ask what it is for.
Yeah, okay. Because I don't feel forced. I'm not that felt that when I listened to that webinar today, it
Yeah,
felt like I should be doing something different. And
something.
that
Yeah,
there's been nothing moving. I mean, there's been movement, of course, easily to go
yeah,
hiking with this one, to call to have this woman, say okay to call me, to talk freely. What is it's effortless.
yeah.
There's no push. Mm,
That's how.
mm.
You could check in with your breath, your belly. Let your belly relax. Let your solar plexus relax. Check in with what's going on in your body's energy field, because that's always a symbol of whether you're believing something that goes against what's true.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I could feel that today during that seminar that webinar because it did not feel comfortable. It
Mm.
almost felt like I was being scolded.
And you know what? That's what a lot of people are looking for. So that's a kind of that's for them to explore,
Yeah.
experiment with. You could say we're experimenting. We're all experimenting,
Mhm.
and it takes a lot of experience. For most people, it takes a lot of experience in pursuing worldly effects
Mm,
before it's like, hey, none of that is leading anywhere.
mm,
All I'm doing is scolding myself all the time.
mm.
It's
Right.
not
Which
going anywhere good.
right, right, right. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I have you. Jeez.
Oh, I'm so glad we get to connect. I love you. Thank you so much.
You so
Yeah.
much. Oh my God. Okay, you can mute me if you want. I think I'm out.
You're out. Okay. Thank you, Lori. I love
Thank
you.
you. I love you too.
So if anyone else would like to speak with me, please raise your hand. You can always type a question in the comment too. That's always fun. Oh, there's a question. Kind of off topic. Well, we're between topics anyways. What's the temp? The temp here in Hawaii today, I'm guessing that it is. I'm guessing. I'm guessing it's 65 right now, which is really cold to me, anyways. I think it's so fascinating how we make predictions in the brain. I find that so fun and funny. Aloha, Alana.
Aloha, Hope. How are you?
I'm so stoked.
Love it. Um, I wanted to come on because, well, I didn't want to come on until I raised my hand. Then I was like, all right, I'm coming on. But I was reflecting on when I got the emails saying that you had wisdom dialogues. It reminded me of when I had called you a couple months ago, um, in that like really desperate state, and that whole situation was really interesting. I was in that state because my boyfriend had left me, and there was a lot that went on there. But right before he left me, it was funny. About a month earlier, I had a dream where he was leaving me, and in it, I was bawling my eyes out in the dream. And then in the midst of the pain, I remember thinking in my dream, "Wow, this actually feels really good." And then the dream ended, and when he actually left me in real life, there was no sense of like, wow, this feels really good. But I think now looking back on it, it was like I wanted to feel that pain. I wanted to feel that desperation. It's almost like I needed to feel it in order, to be here right now, or to like fulfill something in me, that I needed to feel like a victim, or I needed to be in that space. And so when we talked then, I really couldn't see past it. But as I'm sitting here now, I can really feel that sense of like, wow, you really wanted that. You were attracting that. Uh,
Mhm.
and even this morning, I'm pretty good nowadays. Like I feel pretty blissed out in a lot of moments. But today I went to the fridge to go grab food, and in my mind started a dialogue of me talking to him, being like, "You see how bad you were," and like really like going at him, like this anger that's still like I'm still playing into that victimhood. And now it's in brief moments instead of this like prolonged state. But
Yes.
it's just really interesting that me wanting to feel that.
Yes. It is interesting. It is. It's really interesting. And and if you look at it like that, oh, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting that I'm having that perception right now? You
Yeah.
know, instead of making the perception heavy, it's like, oh, isn't that interesting that I'm having that perception? What is it like to have that perception? All you're asked to do is perceive, and that's like already happening. So it's like being aware of what you're perceiving.
Mm. So what was the question again? Like, oh, how does that feel, right? How does that feel to have that perception?
Yeah, it's like you just have the perception and get the full feeling effect of what you're believing, and you get shown how you're pursuing that. You see how you start to pursue a thought, like an argument with someone. It's like you're setting yourself up
Mm.
for
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
it.
I think of that idea of it coming in a dream first. It was almost like I was setting myself up for that whole situation. So maybe any sort of daydreaming thing that I'm getting is kind of me, my unconscious doing that, still attracting that.
Yeah, it's like you could say that um, there's fearful thought structures set up in the mind that are going to keep you coming back to that habitually. See, so habitually, that's going to be a draw for you because it's been a draw for you. So it's a draw. It's like it's really tempting for you to indulge that line of thought.
Mm.
But you don't have to because you are the decision maker as far as that goes. So even if you find yourself down the road having been hooked by a thought, in any moment you could choose to see it as it is and
Hmm.
pop right out of it. And it, like Lori was talking, I love that cross analogy that Lori gave, where the vertical line is the link between heaven and earth. It's like straight up, and then the horizontal line is just everything that's perceived, all the surface stuff. It's like
Mhm.
you take that elevator up in any moment. It doesn't matter. You decide to stop making that that passing thought pattern heavy.
Right. Hmm. You just
Then you
let
can get the
let
full
that.
feeling effect of it. Yeah. Then you can get the feeling effect of it, but this trying to get rid of it and making it into a heavy thing that you have to analyze and stuff like that, it just makes it into something.
Mm.
But it's nothing. It's meaningless. It's just your attraction to it that makes it seem like it means something.
Right. It's like the addiction to it.
Yeah, it's like an addiction. It seems like because you see it's because it seems like you need that thought to protect yourself. Like that thought is your salvation. Like that's how you're gonna get by following these. A thought like that makes it like you need protection. Like there's a threat. Like you need to defend yourself. You need to justify yourself.
Mm.
There's no threat.
Hmm. Yeah, it is. It's like this armor, right? The armor that you put on. This
Yes.
armor.
Yeah, it's as if the boundaries within the boundaries of your body, that's where you are, and you're gonna be protecting yourself in there.
Protecting the self from the self, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. All different aspects of the self.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I just wanted to come on and say thank you, and I
Oh,
appreciate you, and I love you, and I hope Hawaii is amazing.
it is. It's so great to be in Hawaii. Our cold is pretty funny.
I
We still
know.
we still have our windows open.
It was a snowstorm here in New York today, so I was slipping and sliding, and
Oh,
my
how
it was
wonderful.
freezing. It was fun though. It was good.
Yeah, you got all that good gear for it too, huh?
Yeah.
Puffy stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun.
All right. Thank you, Hope.
Okay, I love you, Ilana. Aloha.
Aloha.
And now we have our lovely Bob Shine.
Oh,
Aloha, Bob.
oh, I'm on. Wonderful. Well, I wanted to come on after my beautiful dear friend Alana, who I love, who inspires me so much with her incredible writing and imagination and beauty. Yeah, I'm happy to be here with everyone today.
Oh, fun.
So I've really been getting a lot out of reading your book.
Yay. Thank you for reading it.
I encourage everyone who's on there to contact you to get your book so they can read it and get all the benefit and inspiration from it. It's just remarkable um, how one can utilize this for relationships with one's own children. And not only that, but I've been going through some healing with my inner child.
Oh, how lovely.
So it's like I've been like reading this to my inner child
Oh, how sweet.
because this is the love that I never got from my
Oh,
parents. Uh,
oh,
this is
so
the
cute.
this is the love that I wish I would have had growing up. And so then I've suffered throughout my life because I had all the whipping and the guilt and the shame and all the bad stuff that
All the bad stuff.
you point out in your book, that creates suffering and all the rest of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, because kind of how I got a lot out of E. Haleakala Hugh Len and the self-identity Ho'oponopono, where you have a trinity of aspects, your own internal family, the higher self being your father, your conscious self being the mother, and your subconscious being the inner child.
Okay.
And so then it's like the crown chakra is where you receive that, you were just talking about the vertical aspect that comes in through your crown from heaven, from the higher inspiration, the higher heavenly realms. And then the father consciousness, your higher self, and then it's in your heart chakra. Then that's you as the mother, the lover.
Ah.
And then in your root chakra, down at the very bottom, is your child, your inner child. So you're as the center heart chakra, as being the mother, your conscious self, you're receiving through the crown, the father, the spirit, the higher self, and then your heart is activated then to send it to your root chakra, where the child is, and to transmit that love directly from the divine into the hurt child that has repressed its pain and suffering. So, throughout my life, I've had various pains. I've had heart pains and kidney pains and sciatica pains, and also I've had like prostate pains, and lately that's been kind of cropping up again, where I feel like a desire to pee. It's like that down there, it's the child is like trying to release these trapped emotions. And so I've been sending that love, channeling from my crown, from my higher self, the vertical down into through my heart down.
Okay, so hold on a minute. Hold on a minute, Bob.
All right.
All these things that you're talking about doing, it sounds like some sort of method, but what I hear is that there is not forgiveness. So
Okay.
without forgiveness, none of this is going anywhere. None of this is going to do anything. Because when you're telling the story, like at the beginning of it, when you're telling the story, and you're talking about how the book helped you because you had these things happen to you as a child, and then it messed you up, and so you're still holding that. Haven't. I could tell by the energy, by the way you talk about it, it has not been released, has not been healed from your body's energy field.
Right, it has not. That's why I'm.
Yes, and that's not how to do it, though. It's forgiveness.
So it's forgiving, like my parents?
No, it's forgiveness, as in what happened did not really happen. You have not accepted that. You have not accepted forgiveness, which is basically the truth. What you think happened did not happen. Because your emotional energy, when you're talking about that, is revealing that it is unhealed.
That's it. So that's because I still give it power. I'm still in the past. I'm still thinking about it. Or?
No, when you're looking for a way to get around it, and that's what it sounds like. Like a method like this with all these different imaginary things. Remember, the body's just symbolic. The body's just symbolic. The whole thing is a projection of the mind. Okay, so nothing's really trapped inside your body or anything like that. And there's no kind of method or anything that's going to bring you lasting results. What's going to bring lasting results is forgiveness. So forgiveness, here's how it would come in. You start to become aware of when you tell the story, as if it's a fact that happened to you. And when you tell the story as if it's a fact that happened to you, you feel a certain sensation in your body, and that sensation you might call victimization, you might call it pain, you might suffering, whatever. but there's a sensation in the body that goes along with telling the story, and that's what tells you that it's unhealed. So
Yeah.
that's where your opportunity is in watching, where you tell the story as if it's true, as if it really happened, and you can see that you believe that it's true in that moment. You believe that it really happened because you're getting a feeling reaction to that being real. You're getting a feeling reaction as if that's actually real. So that's where the attention gets put, is on that feeling as if that actually happened. And you could even appeal to your higher self. Help me, let me see. It's just, you're just only talking to yourself. But when you ask for help, at least in my experience, and I've heard from my friends too, it comes because you're asking for this kind of help, that where you have a lot of support in getting that kind of help as soon as you're open to it. As soon as you're open to it, let me see. When you recognize you just told the story as if, and you felt as if that actually happened, then it's like a let me see. Because let me see that I'm making this up. I know you saw a Facebook post that I did before, because you made a comment. It was on the Me Too, pound Me Too, right?
Uh,
Hashtag Me Too.
yeah.
Yeah, and basically, what I was saying is I made it all up.
Hmm.
And that's the thing. It's like, to have that kind of perfect peace, you have to know that you made it up. You cannot be a victim and also have perfect peace.
Well, Lori just told the story of this girl that had all these horrors and atrocities, rapes and everything. That
Mhm.
would tell her the same thing. Then I suppose that she made all that up.
Well, you only tell someone whatever they're ready for,
Hmm.
right? You're only capable of telling someone whatever they asked you to tell them anyways,
Hmm.
right? Yeah. So, just that comment, and the place that comment is coming from, is as if there's a choice in that, and there's not.
A choice in what?
Whatever you tell someone.
Ah.
And it's a guilty projection. It's a guilty projection. It's just kind of like a habit of, well, yeah, well, just go tell that to that person who just went through all of that. And that is, and I think it's awesome that it came out too, because that's where we want it. Like, just come on out, because that's kind of something that plays in the back of your mind and prevents you from seeing.
You
See?
mean the
It's
comment that
maybe,
I made? You're talking
it's,
about?
yes, that's what I'm talking about.
And so repeat that again. What's the insight with that for me to see about that?
Okay, so that comment, this is a comment that comes up really often too. It's a doubt comment. Let's say it like that. It's a doubt comment. So
Okay,
it's
right.
like, oh yeah, well, tell that you're making it all up to that girl that just told a story about all the rapes and stuff like that earlier.
Hmm.
See, that kind of comment, it's doubt. It's basically doubt. And
So
if you're automatically believing the implications of that comment, it's keeping the truth away. It's like blinding your eyes to the truth, let's say.
so yeah, then I'm continuing to give reality and truth to
Well,
this.
you're not doing anything. I'm just pointing out that you have a choice there. Whenever that kind of thought arises, you have a choice whether or not you're going to make it true for you, or you can just see it and go, oh, there's one of those doubt choices. If you recognize it as a doubt choice when it comes out, it has no effect. It's like a doubt comment. If you recognize that's a doubt comment when it comes out, it's doubting, it's trying to cast a shadow, then
Hmm.
it has no effect.
Hmm.
And you have that opportunity in every moment, and every time you choose the truth, it loses its tenacity, let's say. So it's not so tempting
Hmm.
the next time
Hmm.
to just automatically believe in it. See? You
Mm-hmm.
choose whether doubt is meaningful or not. You decide.
So then the reality is that it didn't happen, and but I'm still continuing to entertain it in my imagination that it did happen.
You want it to be true.
I want it to be true.
You want it to be true. That's why you keep on supporting it. You wouldn't sponsor it so much if you didn't want it to be true.
Why would I want it to be true?
Because it upholds your story. It upholds your identity.
That I was a damaged, unloved kid, which is why I like reading your book, because I get to love my damaged kid. Reading your book or what?
Well, there's not there. It does provide healing for the inner child. If you didn't have that kind of perception, you didn't have a perception like that. You had a completely different perception. But look, you will get an even deeper healing from it if you just are open to what I'm sharing with you right now. Get an even deeper healing through it. It is very healing to have the experience of someone being parented in that way, of a child growing up with freedom. It is wonderful, and it's super healing for the inner child. And if you want to take it all the way, if you want to take the healing all the way, then then it takes a willingness to admit that you did make it up. It came as a projection. It was projected from your, however you want to say it. If you make it up sounds weird to you and you don't like it, it doesn't matter. It's not words. It's more of a feeling that it was projected. It was projected from your mind. It did not come from outside of you. Your parents are not really who you think they are. They're not capable of doing anything like that to you. And that's the thing. If you don't see that, then it's only because you are refusing to see that.
Well, what about this idea? So there, I've studied this teaching script, kid, and fantasy, that we're born from a past life where we were abused or killed, and so then in our ignorant, innocent consciousness, we created these assumptions like I will uh, uh, never be good enough, or I will always be shamed or punished, or I'll be ignored, treated with indifference. And we're reborn with this negative script that we project out into the world. And so it's like we have a sign on our back that says, kick me. And it's kicking us and abusing us. And what did we do to deserve this and everything? Whereas that's the signal, the broadcast that we're sending out into the world, and people are just reading back what we're sending out. If anything, they are the victims of the negative broadcast that you are projecting out into the universe. So does that have any validity? You're talking about it's
Well,
a
it's not like anyone's the victim. It's not like that at all. It's more like a dance.
dance,
Yes,
like a
it's more like a dance. And it's just energies at play. However, it's interpreted in, it's like an interpretive, whatever you perceive is like an interpretive demonstration of the mind, of what's playing out in the mind. So it's like it's we perceive these different things, and some of them they seem horrible. It's like, oh no, not that. But it's all a projection coming from the mind. None of it is happening. It's very much like a dream. And if you recognize where it's projected from, you can get the sensation of it. This is the sensation that your brain is using to interpret what you're perceiving right now. The sensation in the body's energy field is what your brain is using right now to interpret your perception. So as the body's energy field is allowed to receive the calm energy of source, you could say, the calm, loving, confident, you can say, energy, it's just everything's allowed to mellow out because interpretations in the brain are being guided by source. You could say they're being guided by spirit. The brain's interpretation are being guided by spirit because that's what's being allowed in.
So yeah, so then that's what I have to do is allow that in and not give any more thought or power and forgive, as you say, any of these past memories or whatever that I feel are playing out in my mind and body.
Yeah, the forgiving happens when you just recognize that the thought itself is meaningless.
So all these thoughts about my past and my childhood are meaningless. They're all they're doing.
Exactly.
All they're doing is just creating all the symptom that I'm experiencing in my body.
That's it. Yeah. So and you know, you could see how you've been only been holding on to them because you want them to be true. You don't have to have them. You don't have to have that.
Mm. Hmm.
You don't
Right.
have to do any thought that makes it true that you, I mean, you could still, and here's the thing, the memory can still be recalled. It doesn't have to have an emotional charge with it.
Hmm.
And
Well,
I'm
yeah.
speaking from experience on that one.
Mm.
You know, it's like I know darn well that anything that occurred to me, any kind of abuses that occurred to me were projected from me. I know that the signal, it's just the same thing as us gathering here for wisdom dialogues. I know that the signal being sent out was received, and it's the signal is basically saying, hey, I'm separate, I'm open to threat, I believe the world's a threat. It's very innocent.
Mm.
That's what we learn. It's like that's what we learn in the world. That's the lesson of the world. It's very innocent to take things as if they're a threat, you know. And it's like you resonate to whatever it is too that you need, whatever experiences you need too. And it's always providing for you. So you have not, I would venture to guess, been grateful to your parents yet. Like truly
Uh,
grateful.
well, yeah, there you go. So yeah, you were earlier talking about the gratitude. So
Yeah.
they've, I can talk about the uh, lack of love that they gave me, but they gave me a lot also that
It
I can.
wasn't up to them to give you love. It never was up to them to give you love.
Right. Well, it's all up to source. Source.
They're projected from your mind.
Mm.
It's not up to them to give you love.
So it's just a matter of completely forgiving and loving and being grateful for them without any of these other negative connotations. Just
Then
to,
it doesn't have any effect on you now. Then it won't have any effect on you now in the now moment.
right. So the problem is I'm still holding on to these ideas that I was somehow damaged or hurt by them, which is why I continue to hurt today.
Yes, that's right.
So
That's,
then, so then I have the power to be able to love them, forgive them, heal them.
you could
Which,
feel so good about them, and I'm speaking from experience.
mm,
You can feel so good about them. You can feel so grateful. You could
mm,
feel so grateful for them for stepping into that kind of role for you that you
mm,
asked them for.
mhm.
And when you feel that gratitude for them, any kind of negative impact that the memory seems to have is gone. The charge of it, you could say the emotional charge associated with it goes.
So I have dominion over that. I have dominion over them and what happened to me and the pain that I had. I have it now. I have this now moment that
Only now, yes, because
rule.
nothing happened before.
Right. Yeah. The past is now because I'm thinking about it now. It's a
Yeah,
memory that's alive in my imagination as I speak to you right now.
yeah, and you've been fueling it.
Right. So then that doesn't even exist. It's only
No.
in my imagination, right?
Yes, that's right.
So
It
it's
didn't
it's
really
my
have.
own negative imagination that's making me suffer.
Well, it's not like your negative imagination is something that's like out there separate or something like that. It's just a choice that you make from moment to moment whether to believe an illusion is true. And if
Hmm.
you're believing the illusion of this memory of your parents doing things to you is true, then you're suffering. You see that? It's
Right.
really simple. It just leads you straight to suffering.
Hmm.
Or you can recognize that the thought for what it is.
So
Basically if you just identify what's false, you're gonna see what's true.
So any kind of suffering or the cause of suffering is an illusion, is false. So no matter what it is or who it is or where it comes from, it's just to entertain those kinds of thoughts or to just to perpetuate them, basically.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
So that's why the forgiveness, the love, the gratitude, you just erase all of that negativity
Yeah.
with the positive, the real, what you want in your life.
Yeah.
You don't want thinking about your parents and how they didn't love you. You want to. I have, yeah, the ability to change the past and my memory of the past by, as you say, loving them, being grateful for them, and
Yep.
forgiving.
Exactly. That's how it is. That's how it is. And that's how it and that's how you will be able to see how much you are loved. The only thing that's holding back from you seeing and perceiving how much you are loved is that you are you're holding something against them. You're holding something against your parents. So
Mm,
since they don't really exist like that, you're holding yourself back like that.
mm, That's interesting because I see like my younger daughter holding resentment against me.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that's a reflection of me still holding resentment against my parents. If I were to let go of that, maybe she would let go of her resentment toward me.
That's possible, but then you don't have to be attached to that at all because it doesn't really matter. What matters is if you can use that perception of her being resentful toward you to love more.
Mm, right.
Allow
That's
more love for yourself. Allow more love for yourself. You see? You use that perception to allow more love for yourself. This is not anything like action or what you should do or anything like that on the surface. It's just like, uh, what is it for? It all comes back to that. It
mm,
all comes back to what's it for?
right. There's the call for love, and are you going to meet the call with love or more negativity or lack of love?
Yes. Yes. So look, so as you're reading my book, Unschooling for Parents, you know, you can look at it as if it was written by you because it was.
Hmm. Mhm. Yes.
Do you see what I mean? Because it's like you could see, you had the vision, you already had the vision through the experience that you made, what would look awesome to you
And
as a
so, and
child. There
here
it
you
is.
here you've created that for me.
Well, you can say it that way if you believe in illusions.
Or I created you to be that.
And not just believe in illusions, but also limit yourself and limit your power of your power as far as the mind, as far as being the mind and consciousness in this dream. You know, it limits your power to think that someone else separate from you created something. You
Hmm.
know, it's not created. It's made up, and it's only made up by you. Even my writing the book, isn't that awesome? Just because we agree on the same hallucination doesn't make it a true one.
Hmm. Okay, well, yeah, it's all one source, one mind, one self, right?
Mhm. Yep.
So yeah, there was this one sentence in your book. You say society's structure of discipline and rules is a mindset made up by confused children masquerading as adults attempting to control their meaningless perceptions.
Mhm.
So that's just it. We grow up and we don't grow up. We're still confused children, because we didn't get the kind of love that you were talking about in your book that you're giving to your children, and we haven't grown up. And this is basically, I feel the crux of human problem is that what's what's created to children is what children will create in society. So that's the foundation, that's the root of human life, is what takes place in one's childhood, and then the branches and the leaves and the fruit
You don't
bear.
have to buy into that so much, though. You don't have, just hold that information lightly, because that could be used as an excuse, like why you can't get it.
I see, because I'm a confused child.
Yes, yes, yeah. So don't buy into that. There's only, remember, it's all right now.
That's right.
So
That's right.
whatever
Well,
you think was set up for you to be, it's not true. Everything can be rewired. It's all projected from the mind. That's why.
and that's what we're doing right now as we're speaking, rewiring all that.
Heck yeah! Don't you love it?
Yeah, and that's what you're doing with your book. So yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for helping me rewire my mind and heart into love and gratitude and forgiveness, and to release this illusion of all this negativity that I've been holding on to and thinking is real and the cause of my pain and physical problems.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob.
Okay, well, thank you. I love you. I'll let you
I
go on to
love you.
the next beautiful friend.
I know. This is so fun. I love you guys. It's the best.
Okay.
Aloha,
Mahalo.
Bob. Mahalo. Aloha, Yulia.
Aloha, Hope. I finally made it.
Yay! Welcome.
Thank you. I love coming here.
Oh, I love you.
Love you too. Love everyone that comes on here. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, hey, I want to read your book too. And
Oh, I didn't ask you, or did I?
I don't remember. I think I wrote something somewhere. Was it here? Was it Messenger? Was it? I don't know.
Okay, I'll
Yeah,
send it to
I
you.
would like that very much. Whatever it takes, I'd like to have it. Thank
I
you.
also, for everyone I sent the book to before, in case you would like to read it, I also added an intro and one more chapter called Choiceless Parenting.
Awesome.
In case
Awesome.
anyone would like it, just email me and I'll send it over to you, okay?
I will. I will. I know where to email. It's the one at.
Anywhere. You can do it on Facebook. I can attach it there. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Yes, and I was gonna ask all kinds of questions. Not all kinds, but I was gonna say something, and then you pretty much answered it, and I figured it out while you were talking to Bob Shine. But I will still say it though, because you were saying, oh no, the thoughts were this. Every time I hear about the radical unschooling, about the parenting, I remember my own kid's childhood, and I start feeling guilt
Oh, yay.
for like, well, and a sense of protest, like I couldn't have done it that way. That was not possible for me then. And I remember being shamed for even taking my kids to preschool. Uh, but you just answered that. Basically, that didn't happen, right?
Yep. That's the whole
Yeah.
thing viewership is for. Oh, Christine says hi to you.
Hi to Christine. I love her too. Yeah, it's Christine who told me about your existence. It's really awesome.
Oh, thank you, Christine.
Yeah. Thank you, Christine. Big
I
thank you. Right.
love it.
Yeah, Christine was saying something at one point, and it was to me, and I was like, "Oh, where did you come up with all this stuff? This is amazing. Where are you learning?" And she's like, "Oh, there's this and that, and there's Hope Johnson." You see, there's Hope Johnson. I need some of that.
How fun. And then Lori says hi to you too, and Lori says hi to Bob, and everyone says hi to everyone.
Yes, hi to everyone and to Lori too. Yes, and to Bob. Yes, yes. So
Phoebe says,
that's that, and the same thing, I guess it's the uh I sometimes still have experience of my children who are of course not really small children anymore, uh not being okay, right? Or doing things that are not okay somehow.
great. Yeah.
And still feel that old sense of uh this
Uh-huh.
again, and I need to do something, but I've done it all and it doesn't work. That kind of, and then I get this. It's usually like a flash, a split second thing. It's not even a fully formed thought, but just
Uh-huh.
a little sense of, well,
Yes.
yeah, that's not really happening. you know?
Yeah. Like you see that if you want, you can indulge that thought. But you're
Yes, yes,
like, oh,
yes.
no, I know where that goes. No, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And it's what's interesting to me that it's not anything big. That it's not like I get intense emotions about my kids or that I get some kind of intense relief. It's just all very subtle somehow.
Hmm.
I barely feel anything, which
Mm,
is fine,
yeah.
but it's a little weird.
Uh-huh.
It's
It is
cooking
so
somewhere in the back room of my mind, sort of like I get a slight sense of frustration and then a slight sense of relief, but it's barely there, all of it.
Yeah, just because it's not as intense, you already went through the intensity.
I guess, yes. But like I said, it's neither the frustration nor the relief are big.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah,
seeing it through half closed eyes or something. But
yeah,
like nothing big is moving.
nothing big is moving. Oh, yeah, there's just that's one of the things too, you know, ideas about how things are moving and how they're going.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get
It's
off
just
them.
like lazily flowing and
Uh-huh.
being there.
Well,
Yeah.
enjoy that because there are periods like that, and then there's different periods. So party
No, yeah, that definitely.
down.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hooray.
Very interesting. Hooray, thank you.
Ew.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to the book.
Okay. I'm sending the
What
book.
else?
I'm sending books
What
out.
else? See how that will play out in my mind, right?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're pregnant.
Whoa!
Oh,
You have no idea where you just got to, but I'll tell you later.
oh, whoa. What?
No, not now. Ay,
One of my
ay.
friends told me his name is Chitta. He listens. Aloha, Chitta. I love you. He told me if I read that book, I might want to start having kids.
Sounds like fun.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah. Like
that
that is
occurred
like
too.
they do it to all my kid, right?
Yeah, I noticed that
I
occurred to
read
me
that
too.
expression somewhere. Now I'm gonna do it right.
Now I'm gonna do it right. Yes, yes. Even for me, reading my own book, I get that sense. Maybe, hey, it wouldn't be so bad. I'm like, oh no, come on. Yay,
Uh,
I love you guys. Thank you.
yes, thank you too. Love you.
Aloha.
Aloha. Bye.
All right. So if anyone else would like to speak with me, please raise your hand. Otherwise, I'll see if anything else comes up. Oh, got some Christine action. Aloha, my love.
Aloha, honey. So you're talking about kids. So I'm not going that far, but I'm thinking about adopting or getting a dog.
Okay.
And I find myself in real anxiety and fear of like commitment and not being able to take care of it or not being home enough or not knowing how to train it and living in a kind of an unstable home environment. And I like to come to Hawaii and I like to go to Portland, Oregon, and I like to travel to New York in the summer. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I can do that with an animal. I was like, well, people do it with children. Right? So it's like,
Probably.
so I haven't had this feeling of this like kind of running anxiety in a long time. And so it's a feeling or a sensation that I'm not used to having.
Yeah.
And the rest of my life too is also up in the air and not stable and even less stable than I'm used to being.
Uh-huh.
I'm living in an area I didn't know I was going to be living in. And so the challenge that I'm having, Hope, is um, in that feeling and the sensations. The story, I think I talked to you a couple of weeks ago about this, the story keeps coming back up.
Mhm.
So instead of, staying with just a sensation or letting, that energy move, my mind keeps popping in and kind of hijacking the awareness.
Okay.
Or or maybe it's enjoying being unsettled. I don't know. It's just
Well, it's a choice. What it comes down here is it's a choice that you're making. You say that your mind wants something and stuff like that, but it's all what you want. Like in the dream, it's like what you're willing for is what you're getting. So,
what I'm
so
willing for.
yes, it's like what you're pursuing there in the thought. It's like you've been guided by the ego to pursue something that you think is valuable, that you think will give you something good, and then a thought will occur to you as if the mind's separate, the mind just likes to do this or whatever, but that's you making a choice to pursue that particular thought pattern. It's not doing it on its own.
Right.
They're all being offered to you. But you decide which ones are meaningful and you make them meaningful.
Right. I decided to pick that one up. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's all. And you can put it down anytime.
Right.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with picking it up, and when you put it back down and you realize you picked it up, that's really interesting. But that's how healing happens, is when it's allowed to just be seen. It's just to allow it to be seen for what it is without adding something to it, projecting over it, more thought, more thought, more thought.
So the running anxiety was already here, and the thought of making a commitment to an animal or a job or whatever it is, that is just
indecisiveness. The indecisiveness is already,
okay.
sign of anxiety.
So I'm just using that as a.
Yeah, just even making that into something like whether or not you get a cat is way more playful than that.
No, not a cat, a dog.
Oh, dog. Okay.
Way more of a commitment than a cat.
Yeah, but the whole thing is way more playful than that. So it's not like you have a choice in what you choose ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
So the indecisiveness is denial of what's true.
So I did have the thought today that I would just make the decision to get one and then see what shows up.
Fun.
Yeah. Instead of pursuing and looking for it, because there's so many decisions to make in that. Like an adult, I would like to have an adult one, that then, or if you get one that's a puppy, is it coming from a good breeder, or is it coming from a puppy mill, or it's like, oh my God, there's so much to think about.
Well, all that stuff plays itself out, so you don't have to have anxiety over it. Because
Yeah.
all those thoughts and all those ideas, they all play themselves out. If you're just holding it lightly, the idea of having a dog, just holding it lightly, you know, all this different information will start to come to you, and the information will just be processed automatically, easily. You don't have to make it as if a decision that you make is final or anything like that. Just being open to it, because it's really a feeling that you're after in the whole thing anyway.
Yeah.
It's really like, and that feeling is a feeling of wholeness. See? So that's all that it is. So you let yourself have that wholeness now. And who knows your idea of what you want, because you never know what you want. You just have ideas of what you want to get that feeling response. They may change, and it doesn't matter. That's why you don't have to make anything so permanent. Just get the feeling of being with, you say you'd like to be a dog owner. Well, why? What does that feel like? Feel like that now. Let yourself feel like that now, and then all the dog stuff, they can work itself out and come to you as it needs.
Okay. That sounds much simpler.
It's way simple. It is. It's so simple. If you find yourself stressing over anything, you've just complicated it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Thank
glad
you.
we got to the bottom of that.
That was easy. Yeah, I'm usually pretty quick. I get there pretty fast.
You're a funny phone call. I'm like, wow, that was 9 minutes and 32 seconds. She's like, oh, I'm good. I got it.
Done. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, stay warm.
Thank you. I will. I have a beautiful heat pad. Wow. That is such, that feels so good. I love it. Now it's raining. Yay. All right. I love you, Christine.
I love you too. Thank you.
Aloha.
Aloha.
All right. I'm still open for peeps. Anyone would like to raise their hand, please go ahead. I love it. And I love you. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Isn't it lovely? Lori said she hears the rain. So in relationships, did you know every relationship is meant to be fulfilling? 100% fulfilling. That's because every relationship is a reflection of what's true. Every relationship is the one relationship. The one relationship in dreams, it's consciousness relating with thought. One relationship. The only time relationships are seen as unfulfilling is when they've been separated out. And that's the kind of relationship, A Course in Miracles would refer that to as a separate relationship. Course in Miracles refers to that as a separate relation, or a special relationship. Special relationship, where you take one aspect of the illusion and separate it out as if it's more meaningful than other aspects. More meaningful. More of a benefit, more of a threat. It's more meaningful. It's been referred to as special love relationship and special hate relationship. They seem to be the same thing. It's coming in different forms. When that occurs, and that's the way most of the world relates, it's like about making something more special. So this thing is supposed to fulfill me. Like Bob was talking about with his parents, that's a special relationship. That's what's you can say symbolic of a special relationship, where it seems like it's the other person's responsibility, duty, whatever, to give you love. Parents are one of them. It was never their responsibility to give you love. The relationship with your parents is the same. One is the same as a relationship with all the things in the illusion. All of the things, all of the props in the illusion. The source is the same, and the whole purpose of it is to see through the illusion. See through the illusion that you made. And recognize that it's all love. There are no separate bodies like that. There are no separate special bodies like that, except what you make up in your imagination. Same thing goes for romantic partners with your kids. It's like if you make it into a special relationship, it's as if they owe you something. It's as if you owe them something, and if you love them, you'll perceive that you have to sacrifice for them. Okay. Love is never sacrifice. There's not any sacrifice in love. In forgiving people for what they did not do, nothing is sacrificed. Forgiving for what they did not do. How can anything be sacrificed there? No sacrifice. It's like they've given you a gift because it's symbolic. The image of the abuse, whatever it seems like they did to you, it's symbolic of what you wish to do to yourself. It's a symbol of what you wish to do to yourself. And you still wish to do it to yourself if you're making it true. The relationship with the person that you perceive as your abuser person you perceive as having been your abuser in the past, let's say, your relationship with them can satisfy you completely. Every relationship that you have can satisfy you completely. Because it's all the same relationship. It's all consciousness relating with thought. None of it's separate. But it takes forgiveness where there seems to have been some kind of trespass before that relationship can satisfy you, even come close to satisfying you at all. In fact, it'll look like the opposite. Do you have any expectations of them? That's not satisfying. It's not satisfying. Might be satisfying sometimes when they're meeting your expectations, but that's not completely satisfying because it's dependent on something. I'm saying every relationship with every seeming individual can satisfy you completely. It's all for love to be revealed, and love is revealed through you. The saying, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." The only way for God's will to be done is through you. And God's will is only love. It's not a matter of what you do with your body. It's only love. And love only comes from within. There's no satisfaction in any love that comes from another person. There's no satisfaction in that. That's shifting. It's a shifting perception. It's not something to be dependent on. I mean, sure, someone shows you love. That's beautiful. Someone shows you love. You don't need to hold that at all. You just come, oh, thank you. That's lovely, Have the experience of it, exchanging love, wonderful. Expressing gratitude, wonderful. You don't need that. What about when someone expresses non-gratitude? You've been horrible. You don't need it in any particular form. That's what I'm saying. You don't need it in any particular form. You don't need it from anybody. All of your experiences are coming automatically. You don't need anything from any particular person, place, or thing. You need peace whenever peace seems to be lacking. You don't need anything other than that. One of my favorites, one of the I guess it would be a workbook lesson in the Course in Miracles, is I can have peace instead of this. Not asking a question, it's just I can have peace instead of this. Even though I'm feeling non-peace, even though I'm sensing non-peace, the reminder I can have peace instead of this would be like a pointer to, hey, look, can you look beyond? Can you look beyond that? Can you look past that? Can you see that it's only a projection? I can have peace instead of this. It's my choice. I can have peace instead of this. And peace is the only thing you ever need. It's not like it's missing, but when it appears to be lacking, it's because you've denied it. You've denied that you're worthy of it. It might seem that you've denied that someone else is worthy of it, but really you're denying yourself. If someone in your perception isn't worthy of peace, that's you talking about yourself. It doesn't have anything to do with them. It's like you deny heaven to them, you deny it to yourself. It's all your choice. And if you make them guilty for the wrongs that you think you have done to them, then they are deserving of punishment in your mind, which really means that you are deserving of punishment. So automatically, your brain is programmed to be interpreting things in a way that brings the punishment, brings the perception of punishment about. There's no need for that. But it's being pursued, and when you see what's being pursued and where it's going, then you'll be happy to make another choice. If you don't see, ask to see. Let me see is valuable. If you don't see, ask to see. If you're upset, ask to see. If you're upset, you're mistaken. You must be mistaken. So ask to see. Upset is always a symbol. It's not wrong. It's never wrong. It never goes that way here. It's just a symbol that you're believing against yourself. You're believing something about yourself that denies the truth and magnitude that you are. So just admitting to that opens you up. And you're always doing awesome. You're never failing at it. You're never failing at it. You're always doing awesome, and you're always appreciated. Keep on recognizing what is not true, and the truth gets revealed. And this dream is about recognizing what is not true, because that's all that can be seen in it. Untruth denies reality, but you are the truth. So as you deny that which is untrue, it's not like denial, like covering your eyes, denial. It's denying power to it. It's denying your power to it. Another way of saying it, it's reclaiming your power from it. Remember to use the words as pointers. Don't come to any conclusions. Hold them lightly. Thank you. All right, couple closing things. We are sponsored by Miracle Botanicals, our beautiful essential oil company, where we have the most amazing essential oils. And one that just came back is called Spikenard. Spikenard. It's a little bit on the patchouli side. It's got a little bit of a sharpness to it. It's sharper than patchouli. A little bit sharper than patchouli. I have it in my heart blend, which is one of the chakra blends. Have it in my heart blend. It's known for heart opening. It's also said to be the one that Mary Magdalene used in the Bible. At least that's what they were referring to. The plant, they call it the nard, was what she used to wash Jesus' feet. So that's a really fun aspect of it. I think it smells awesome all by itself. I also like essential oils that can be a little bit on the, how would I say it? It's kind of like musky, almost like damp. Dark comes to mind with it. Feels like a darker color, like maybe brown. I often associate the aroma with color. It just seems to come automatically. So if that resonates with you, like a brownish, dark brown. And yeah, it's incredible. It's organic. We weren't able to find it for a little while, so it went off. It just came back on. So you're interested in that, miraclebotanicals.com. Check out the spikenard. This week we just started a new promo. We are sending out sweet basil, I believe it is. Could be wrong on that, so double check me. But I'm pretty sure it's sweet basil with some minimum purchase, maybe $50 or something like that. And yay! And as you heard, I have a book coming out called Unschooling for Parents. I'm going to have a website. It's going to be a book website because I have 2 more books coming out. The book website is going to be at hopejohnson.org, I think. .org.com, one of those. And that'll probably be out in about a month. What else? Oh, we'll be back next week, next Tuesday at 3 o'clock Hawaii time. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it so much. And then the other one is wisdomdialogues.org is where you can go to find all the videos right now. Okay, if you want to go through the videos and check out different topics, go ahead. Check it out. Love to have you. I love you. Thank you. If there aren't any more questions, then I'm signing out. Yay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lori. Aloha. Thank you, Phoebes. Aloha, everyone, and a hui ho.